Welcome back, everybody. I am here at one of my ultra hi-fi members' homes and his actual room. Astonishing, I must say, Eric, your room. I mean, you guys are looking right now. Take a look at the images right now. I mean, this guy has gone through everything, everything. He's crossed all his T's and dotted all his I's. It's absolutely phenomenal. To me, this is it speaks volumes about what you have been able to do. Um, everything you put together, of course, the time, money, resources, everything. But to be sincere with you, when I came in here and I had my reservations because I have my reference point, but that does not mean it's your cup of tea or anybody else's cup of tea. However, I got here at 3 o'clock in the morning, exhausted from traveling. By the way, if you must know, I will be taking yet another four more flights. So 7 flights in a 3-day period. 7 flights, just so you know. Okay, so I'm doing the legwork. I hit the ground running January 1st of this year, and I plan to continue to do this throughout 2023. But this is my passion, and it's a pleasure to be able to come in here. First and foremost, I want to thank you for being a member of my website, jayaudiolab.com. It means a lot to me to have your support, and everyone else who is watching me right now on my WhatsApp group, my private group for my ultra hi-fi members only. Okay, so I came in here, I was kind of half asleep. When you land, your ears are popping, you don't really hear too well. So my initial impression wasn't the greatest, but I was very tired. So I got enough rest, got back up, we had some breakfast.
And we went to bed at about 2:33 a.m.
See, 3 o'clock in the morning, got up at 8, had some breakfast. We were down here again, 9 a.m. And so I sat down and pushed play. The songs that I know, the CDs you guys already saw, and it was a quite positive experience right out of the gate. Like, I heard a lot of the traits that are very important to me. So I heard a lot of spaciousness, detail, nuance, resolution. The clarity was there. A lot of it was really front and center. So I was already skeptical about touching your speakers, your S3 MK2s, because I'm thinking everything is there for me. Like, I didn't feel like I wanted a larger sound stage. I didn't feel like I wanted to open them up. The vocals were locked in the middle. So what I wanted to do was get more out of the tweeter, right? And that's one of the things that you wrote down on your list of
I
things.
knew what I wanted. Yeah.
So go ahead and articulate what you wanted.
Yeah. I wrote a list before Jay just so he knew what that I wasn't lying. When he came over, and on my list I wrote opportunities. So one of the opportunities was I thought a slight lack of focus and precision. Um, Number two, the little haziness to the sound.
Haziness.
Good, but just not crispness. Number two was the cymbals, probably related to the first one. The cymbals were slightly diffuse and not precise. The cymbals just had a little bit of a veil over them. And I also thought the bass was not quite as hard hitting as I would like, but I just knew there was something a little more there. I knew there was some more potential there that I wasn't quite getting. Everything was very well, but those were the main components I wanted to see improve.
Right. So then what I did was, you know what, I don't want to break anything here. I wanted to simply explore the rest of the system, see how you have things connected. I felt pretty comfortable with the towing of the Magical S3s. I felt that it was the right distance away, like the distance between the speakers and the listening area is perfect. I didn't feel like I needed to be closer or farther apart. I liked the distance behind the wall, like between you and the wall behind you, right? So all of that was there for me. It's very similar to the setup. And this is something that I have been talking about, the importance of this here. Look, guys, this right here, this space, okay? He has at least 10, 12 feet from the rear of the speaker to the wall behind the speaker, okay? That creates that illusion of more space behind, more layers, more windows of information happen behind the speaker. Now, some of you guys may think I'm crazy for saying that. Well, why don't you do this? Try it. Try it. Pull your speakers out into the room and give it a listen. And if you found a positive impact, shoot me an email and thank me for that, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, it makes a difference. So I heard everything. The setup is very familiar to what I have at home as far as the distances and how I feel like you're occupying almost like the first half of the room, right? And then behind the room, although it is occupied by the equipment, the speakers are still doing work behind. And so I brought my cable line authentic audio image It's a line that I discovered back in 2022, and I did a lot of listening sessions with my magical S7s. I found a lot of the attributes from that particular cable line to be quite beneficial. What I mean by that is it's very coherent, top to bottom. Nothing really stands out. The music does not come shooting at you where you are almost seeking cover behind the couch after 30 minutes of listening to music. You'll know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, there's none of that with these cables, and the naturalness, the organic feeling of the presentation. So I inserted the cable. So I told him, you know what? Let me do what I need to do. Step out of the room. He stepped out of the room. He came back in. I dressed the system. He helped me with some of the cables. But then I told him, grab your music. Don't let me listen. Give it a listen. So I'll take it. I'll give you the mic. Explain what happened.
So I told Jay that I have Shunyata Sigma V2 cables, XLRs.
Great cables.
Yes, speaker cables and the power cords. Which, by the way, I sold the power cords because I found that the stock power cords sounded better than my V2 Sigma power cords. So I sold them. So I'm playing stock power cords, but
on the Strom tank.
On the Strom, yeah. The key is the Strom tank.
Strom tank is something that I told you guys about as well, which is something that I also represent. You don't really need expensive power cords on the Strom tank. He's telling you that he found just as much satisfaction using Amazon power cords on the electronics and plugging those components into the back of the Strom tank. He sold off.
But yes, that's true. Jay first puts in the speaker cables and the XLRs because I said I had stock power cords. He goes, let's just try the XLRs and the speaker cables. That's when I first listened, and even it was cold, very cold. First 5 minutes, actually first 15 seconds listening into it, I noticed that focus that I was missing was starting to show up. A little bit more layering was starting to show up, and Jay's like, let it settle, let it settle. So after a couple of hours, it was magic. But before we actually went on, Jay goes, okay, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to put those AAI power cords on too. He's like, you said, and right away, I also noticed a little bit of an uptick.
Yes.
So that, like, there's some triangles and some songs that become more distinct. But as the hours proceeded, these things just bloomed. It was these cables. Again, I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't hear it with my own eyes or my ears. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. And but it's been unbelievable. They're not leaving. They're not leaving. These cables.
Yeah.
They beat my Shunyata and for my system.
For your system.
And they cost less money. So I can't.
That's kind of what I'm saying. It. So we got a lot of the attributes that you had on that paper on your phone.
Yeah,
what is it? What do you think it gained when you added those cables?
Yeah, for me it was that fuzziness, that slight lack of focus, locked in.
Okay.
More focused now. The cymbals, as an example of a high frequency noise, now became clearer, more distinct, and more sparkle, but not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way, okay.
And the spaciousness, like Jay was saying earlier, I had a huge soundstage already. I had a huge soundstage and really good layering in the back. But these cables now added even more depth. And what I mean is they projected even further forward, but kept the back. So now there's an enhanced layering here that even moves closer to you, which makes it even feel more real.
Got it.
And so you can almost reach out and touch the performers. They're like carved out in space. They're like almost here. They're here.
Right.
And here, and almost every single song, my bad CDs, my good CDs, every CD is listenable. All my CDs sound good in some way, even the bad recorded ones. And every song changes.
It does, right?
Every song. This is that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like a chameleon.
It does. The cables do that. Yeah.
It's amazing. So I really,
hey, man.
I really wanted to give Jay a big hug because I just gotta. My journey, 2 years, trying to optimize these speakers. Again, when I replaced my S3s and a long journey. Jay is my guardian audio angel. Jim Smith was my guardian angel when I first got my S3s. He hasn't been able to travel as much.
Right.
I met Jay and I was impressed by his seeking the knowledge.
Yeah, my madness.
Without him here, I wouldn't have been able to get this so quickly to the next level. And I knew there was a little more potential. He knew exactly what I needed, and it's locked. It's locked.
I like what I'm hearing. And obviously I do not want to dismiss any of the work that he did prior to me arriving, because he had already done the heavy lifting. He was fine-tuning the subwoofers. And he had done a lot. Like I said, I sat down and it was already there. I smell all that, like a diamond in the rough. I smelled, but I also knew what it wasn't doing. And that's kind of what the cables brought to to the table. Like we didn't really touch anything. I actually did take that back, adjustments to the subs because they were actually set up incorrectly. So one was 180 degrees, the other one was 0 degrees. So I made it both zero. And I heard that even at 3 o'clock in the morning, like there was something that was off to me. So I made those
I
changes.
forgot. I knew they should have been the same because that was my mistake.
Yeah.
I knew they should, but I don't. I must have met when I was setting up. I forgot. to
Right.
keep one.
So I made those changes too. I was able to do it. And a lot of these things, guys, unfortunately, you need the years. And that only comes with a lot of hours, years of sitting down in front of these systems. I mean, there's no course you can take to learn this. There's nothing, unfortunately, nothing. It's like driving a race car. You're only going to get better by driving at 200 miles an hour. Sorry, there's nothing you could do. That's all you got to do. And so I was able to come in and zoom in and sniff the things that were not happening. And it so happened that these things were aligning to what he had on his phone as far as what the wishes that he had for the system. One of the things that I want to say is although I have not done any subs, I think his system even sounds phenomenal without subs because I turned them off briefly and it still gave me a lot of impact. So the S3 MK2s are sounding phenomenal. And your room is what size again?
18 wide, 24, 25 deep, 8.5 tall.
So it's about 90% the size of mine, which leads me to believe that even a set of S3, maybe a set of S3 MK3s, I should consider. I don't know, because these are sounding phenomenal right now. But we've always had these conversations in the past, and this is a great opportunity, first and foremost, to say this out loud. We've always had these conversations about magical speakers being, too bright or too much or too edgy or too shrill or all of this. I promise you, folks, okay, if you heard this speaker in this room with everything he's done, took care of his electrical, has a strum tank, has the right acoustic treatment, he actually has done all the work, okay? If you hear these speakers here, I promise you, your jaw would drop, completely drop, because it's just a speaker that needs you to work with it. But when you get it dialed in, okay, I'm telling you right now, it is so amazing that I'm gonna share this with you guys right now. He's gonna get the S3 MK3s because of what he's hearing. So, yes, we made it happen. S3 MK3s will come for him, and this year, because of the fact that he's just in love. He's a two-time Magical owner now, right? S3 MK1s, MK2s, and he's moving up to the MK3s again. So that just speaks volumes. For him, it makes sense because you have your room fully tuned, literally almost just drag and drop your new speakers. You might make a couple of adjustments, but you're there, right, to enjoy that. So I 100% agree with your decision in not changing at all the topology or the design or the brand. To me, you've been happy. You work so hard already with Magicals, and I would have Magicals like front and center, but I've been doing it for a long time. And I've always been vocal about the fact that, first and foremost, if I want to be honest here, Magical has been extremely supportive of anything I needed. Okay. When I had a problem with a tweeter, I mean, it was an email away, and a tweeter was on its way to me. I mean, the support has been top notch. Same thing goes for Boulder. Boulder has been phenomenal with me. Same thing goes for MSB. Okay. And guys, I will say it again. They don't send me a paycheck. I'm not on their payroll. I'm not an employee of theirs. Okay. I have my 9 to 5, which I have to get back to and get to work. Okay. But the end of the day is I want to be behind brands that are actually supportive, that brands that really stand behind their products, okay? That there's no hidden agendas or sneakiness or foolishness, okay? We have no time for that. Our journey is supposed to be about enjoying this. And unfortunately, as I was telling him behind closed doors, I no longer have a lot of this enjoyment because I'm here helping, and my other client, my other member, and close by with the S7s. So I'm all about, helping others now, and embarking on something that makes sense for me and for you guys. Okay. But that leaves me very little time to carry on with my journey. But I'm okay with that because I have a lot of time with this years and I know exactly what I'm looking for, what I'm searching when I listen to someone else's system. Okay. So I am pleased to say that front and center, no BS, no lies. This is the best magical speaker I have ever heard, excluding the M9s at the factory because that's a different animal. I'm not going to compare that. I'm talking under normal conditions, whether it be show, whether it be someone's home. I just feel like this setup, when I think about what I'm hearing, given the money you put in it, it's the best I've heard for the money. This S3 MK2 with the rest of the electronics, which I am also very, very, very much a fan of. Okay, guys, so
One other quick one, then, if I could just mention, yeah, and I just want to echo what Jay had said many times on his videos about the Magicos needing the supporting components.
yes,
I can I through my journey, I wanted to blame the speaker many
did you?
times over the last year. I thought they were the problem.
Yeah,
And in the end, no, they were just telling me something else was the problem.
Yeah.
I wanted to get rid of them a couple of
Did
times.
you?
I was really gonna sell them.
Yeah,
But I stayed the faith because I knew what they were capable of for my previous S3s. But I second guessed myself along this journey because it took me a long time to
Yeah.
procure it this way. And Jay was 100% right. You get the wrong stuff behind it.
you can.
It's going to tell. That's the one negative. I don't know if I call it negative, but just
Yeah.
that shows the quality they need.
Yeah.
When they get the right quality,
Yeah.
they're unbelievable.
They are. They are.
Sing.
I mean, you are perfect poster child. You're going to be 3-time magical owner. You're pretty soon going to beat me here. I have had 5 times magical speakers in my room. But, it's the same thing, and I want people to know, those of you who own magical speakers, you got a great, great, great diamond in your hands. Polish it.
Yeah.
Work it.
Exactly.
Room treatment. Treat your room. Get with somebody who does, it doesn't have to be me. Get with somebody else that has a higher reference point than you do. Talk to the people that know this. Stop talking to the minions on the forums. Stop getting reference points from guys, people, whoever the hell it is that don't know what the hell they're talking about. Talk to people who do this on the daily, who literally roll out of bed with this type of equipment that can guide you in the right direction, okay? It doesn't have to be me. If you choose me, great, I'm here. You know how to find me. If it's not me, I hope you find your right guide throughout your journey, because it is important when you're spending this kind of money. Guys, you're burning 3-4 times the amount of money you should not be spending this kind of money. You should be spending a quarter of the money that you are currently spending, but it's been 4 times the amount of money because you're going in circles and you're being misled and your people are telling you all sorts of things. Stop doing that to yourself. Stick with somebody that can take you in the right direction. One person, don't talk to 10, talk to one person. Listen to what they have to say, okay? Hopefully they have a better reference point and hopefully they own what you're looking to buy, okay? That's what I recommend you guys do, and I think that's really what this industry has been lacking for a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I found my niche. I found a hole in the industry, okay? A hole that nobody has covered. And what is that? I'm going to tell you what that is. Number 1, I have owned all my equipment. Never had anything given to me for free. Okay. Number 2, I created a business from it because I'm putting a lot of time. I just told you 7 flights in 3 days. Okay. That's time that I could be with my daughter, my 6-year-old right now, and my wife that I'm not spending with them. Okay. Number 3, I feel like there is a way of making this a journey, hobby, and a business at the same time. And I am more than determined to do just that in 2023. And I promise you, you're going to see a hell of a lot more in my lab. Okay. Please check out my website, Jay's Audio Lab. Consider becoming a member. Talk to me if you have any concerns. Check out my cable line, Authentic Audio Image. The description will have the website. If you have any interest in buying these cables, reach out to me. I'm glad that I brought him here, and all it took is nothing but 20 seconds, and that was it. He took the cables. That's all it took. So I don't have to lie. I actually put my money where my mouth is, and I'm doing just that today. Okay, guys? So thank you again, Eric, for having me here.
Really,
Appreciate it.
I can't thank you enough, man. This has been an amazing.
My pleasure. My pleasure being able to know you and to help you and to steer you and know that you can go to sleep and know that, hey, I know and if I feel that if you text me and tell me something's off, I'm going to tell you need a break. Your mind is playing games with you because this happens to us.
No,
Okay?
exactly. No, I knew the sound I was searching for. I knew what I was looking for. I got it now because my previous reference point.
Right.
And so this is all I could have dreamed of right now.
Perfect.
It's amazing. It's to the point where you just sit and listen, and you don't think about anything else.
Awesome.
That's what I wanted to get.
Amazing. I'm happy to hear this. So, guys, stay tuned for more. Thank you for the support. More to come from Jay's Audio Lab. Peace.